beautiful friends. How are you today? So now we're at the final countdown to our new year, 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. So I wanted to just take this opportunity to talk about what it really takes for deep transformation to happen, because the type of transformation that I've been talking about and that I work with people on is not easy. It is not easy to have radical transformation in your life and radical healing of your physical ailments, radiant health, and of body, mind, and soul. However, what happens is that the beginning is not easy. Getting the momentum can be quite challenging, and many people fall, and they fall off the wagon, and they don't get to the place where the momentum starts to pick up and sustain them and propel them forward to a totally different wavelength. They really get propelled forward to living at a much higher vibration. And what I'm teaching people to do, and what I see happening so frequently for those who can really do what it takes, is that there's a way to sustain and stabilize at this higher vibration, and that's when the radical transformation and healing on all these levels happens. Okay, so let's just talk about 3 things that are needed, in my opinion, to be the foundation for this radical transformation, this radical healing. 1 is commitment. So these are probably very obvious and simple, and yet in practice not always so simple. But I invite you to really open your minds and your hearts and receive these things that I just want to go through right now, with the prayer and the intention that this is laying your foundation this year for the most amazing transformation and healing, way beyond what you can even imagine possible. So commitment. Okay, most people are not willing to commit to what it takes to heal. So one really needs to be ready and be willing to commit. Commit to a path that has been shown through experience to be about real healing. And so that's number 1, commitment. Being willing to make it your number 1 priority, your healing. Okay, number 2, being willing to be able to see the truth. And that is actually one of the most difficult things. And that's because it's very contrary to our ego-based behaviors. Our ego is constantly distorting reality so that we can see either what we want to see, or it's distorting reality in a way that we're projecting the past on the present, or the past on the future. It wants to continue our habits. It wants us to stay where we are. It does not want us to grow. So it has this very deceptive way of making us think that there's truth in the distorted reality that it's creating for us. So number 2, for one to really experience and stabilize in this place of radiant health of body, mind, and soul, a person has to be willing to see the truth and to go beyond their ego, meaning a person has to be willing to feel vulnerable and even threatened. They have to be willing to question what they believe, what they've learned, what they've been taught from as a child or by society. These things are not, there's many things here, unless your parents were real truth seekers and committed to truth, then usually not intentionally, but these false ideas get passed on. And certainly many of the collective ideas in society are based on collective ego. They're not based on the elevation of the human race, the spiritual elevation of the human race. So we really need to be willing to go beyond what we've learned that's become habitual and that's created our projection of reality. And once we're willing to do that and we set that as an intention, it will take us leaps and bounds forward. It will pave the way for radical healing. And then the third piece that I want to suggest is endurance, because some of us get a charge of motivation, a charge of energy, and then it putters out and we fall off the wagon. So endurance is extremely important, and commitment and endurance go together. Commitment without endurance is not going to cut it, and endurance without commitment is not going to cut it. Both together, and being willing to see the truth, seeking the truth, seeking people that can guide us forward, knowing that we need to really be able to find this place of deep trust in ourselves and deep also questioning ourselves, because this is a process. This healing process is learning how to connect to the source of truth in us and peeling through the layers of falsity that maybe we have thought to be truth all this time. So I hope that you can really reflect on these. I hope that you can ask and put out a prayer for commitment this year and endurance this year and willingness to see the truth. And for those of you who are really ready to go on the fast track, I also really encourage you to find the right person that can take you to where you want to go, because part of that going beyond our ego is a certain acknowledgement that we need help. We need guidance from the right person. And finding that right person is not always easy, but if we truly want it and we ask for it, then we will know there will be a resonance when we find a guide that is our guide to help us on this journey of healing. And the results, when we have all these pieces in place, are beyond what we can imagine. We really tap into high levels of healing. We tap into miracles brought down into this physical reality. So, blessing us all to really open our hearts this year, really open our souls and be willing to see the truth, to seek the truth above all, being committed to it, and being enduring. If you'd like to schedule a free call, we're going to be having a intensive program of transformation for those of you who feel that this resonates and feel that you want somebody to guide you, you can schedule a free call by clicking at the link at the bottom, and we can talk about what your heart is desiring, what might be blocking you, and what you can do to really embrace this path of transformation, of healing, of body, mind, and soul. Have the most incredible year, many blessings for radiant health, and I will talk to you next year. Bye.